Yo guys, what's up? Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to the stream, everyone. And what's up, guys? It's been such a long time since we have streamed, and you guys might not know that we have completely did test our game with our friends in a mobile device, and it was working pretty smoothly, which is a good news for us. We're still facing a minor FPS spikes and jitters, but those were really rare conditions. So the game was pretty much playable. But we also managed to find out some bugs, and we will fix that. Maybe not today, not in this stream, but to find out some bugs. But we will definitely work on that. And I just woke up, and I might look like I'm tired, but it's just because I woke up right now and I'm having my breakfast. So let's start. And the most important thing that we wanna add to our game today is adding a sensitivity options option for this. So what we are planning to achieve is we want a settings button which if we press opens a panel where we should be able to change the sensitivity. So that is a pretty basic thing that every game has, and why don't we have that as well? Because since our game is in FPS shooter kind of, not FPS but third person shooter, so why don't we have that? It will be really good, and the players will also have a lot of control over the characters, which is good for them as well. So to build this cleanly, a settings button that opens a panel with sensitivity sliders wired to the actual camera sensitivity values. Mm, so we have to make some changes inside of our. We have to create a setting manager script which applies sensitivity, and we have to store it inside a player prefs, which is used for storing scores and everything, which do not get changed even after we restart our game. So that is like a permanent change. So yeah, that's it. And we need to add setters to our player camera script. Dude, this looks like a lot of work. So let's start this. So first we want to create a script called settings manager. So let's go to our player, let's go and set up a UI. But this is more like a manager script, so I think this should be inside of game. What the fuck? Oh, this is you guys might notice we have a different set of options here. Maybe the alignment, because the monoviewer script were, I believe it used to be in the second. Now it's at the fourth place, which might be because of the update that Unity had, and because of this update I was not able to run this project, and I had to update, and I decided to update to the latest version, and there we might see some changes to it. Let's also have a breakfast while we create this. Why is my device lagging so much? Should not be lagging this much. Why do we have two different terrains? What is this terrain? And why is Unity taking such a longer time to compile? Meanwhile, let's remove all of this. Dude, what the fuck is wrong with this? Okay, so we were trying to open up our settings manager, and why is my Visual Studio lagging so much? Yeah, so we have this is where the magic happens. This is where we have changed the value fro- from, and we apply this value inside of our player camera. So we need to make some changes to our player camera as well. So let's go to our player script, and inside of our player camera, so we have to add two of these methods, and your sensitivity does not exist. We have something for your sensitivity and pitch sensitivity. The only thing that does not exist is this underscore. Does not exist. What the fuck? It exists right here. sensitivity. What? Uh, why is this thing not getting detected by from here? Does not exist. Good. It does exist. Maybe because it's private. Is that what? I don't think so. Because your represent no longer exists a field in your class, you represent whether it looks and seems to construct. So what happens with destruct? So these methods does not exist. Trying to access variables will remove if you want to change desktop sensitivity. It was for my phone sensitivity, right? So we have two different methods. So we have to let's not think a lot about desktop sensitivity because in desktop you can also change the sensitivity by changing the DPI of the mouse, so that is not a big deal. But for the phone, let's make this purely for phone for now, and we later might want to add for desktop as well. So we have mobile look. Okay, we got this. Now we also want to go to our hunter camera, which is somewhere around here. सचिन सर चिन्नुभयो सम्भव सम्भव पाण्डे थिएन यार हेलो सम्भव वेलकम टु द स्ट्रिम सम्भव भन्ने त सुने जस्तो त लाग्छ तर एकजना सम्भव भन्ने त म पहिला सुखानगर बस्दाखेरि त्यतैतिर बस्थेँ के अरे उम्, त्यही सम्भव हो र कि अर्कै हो Mm, mm, mm. Now we have to apply the saved settings when player spawns. So inside of our player camera, let's go back to our player camera script. And inside of our init local player, we wanna do this. And we got a lot of errors. Why are we not able to access camera follow? We should have camera follow script somewhere around here. Okay, we have this as hider cam. Mm, why is Claude giving me so many errors? We have this hunter cam and hider cam. If they are into the profile system, you have to put the save values into appropriate profile instead. Why do we not have find cross here? Maybe we don't need this. We had find crosshair method, but why are we not able to use that method after we change this? We do not have find crosshair before, so I don't think this matters that much, but still, I hope this works because if this does not, then I have to give a lot of time to this, which I do not want. Now we also have what is this terrain? I want to check this out. This is the terrain. Then what is the second terrain? Oh, these are for the objects, I guess. So we need one more script, which is gonna be our settings script. What the fuck, guys? Why is this taking so much longer to just create a script? After this, we might wanna add gyroscope to our game, guys. It feels really easier to play with gyroscope instead of normal game-based dragging system. Because I used to use gyroscope when I used to play PUBG Mobile, so I am kind of I feel easier with gyroscope, and I think there are a lot of people who feel easier with gyroscope, and if there are not, and if there are people who do not want to use gyroscope, then it's fine because that will be a setting that you will be able to change. If you want to use, then you can use. If you don't want, then you can just turn it off and play with the default aim or finger drag method, whatever you guys call that, which is a good option for the players. So we might want to add that as well. But after we change the settings, then we also have to add one more sensitivity parameter, which will be for gyroscope. So we can do that later. So we have three different sensitivity options for the horizontal, vertical, and aim. So I guess now it's time for us to create the actual layout of the panel and the UI hierarchy. So let's go to our UIs. Who's our UI? What is this UI about? This is for the UI for the morph prompt which we do not want. We want for inside of game canvas and inside of HUD panel we have timer and role text. So we gonna add a button to this part as well. And for the simulator, we wanna for the aspect ratio, we wanna have this 16:9 so that we get a pretty good idea of how the layout looks like. And inside of our HUD panel, we wanna create a button. So it's inside UI and inside of the button. So this is gonna be our settings. And since we can know how setting looks like, we don't need text for this, but we need an image which I regenerate. Meanwhile, we can adjust the place where you want this to be. Maybe somewhere around here and a little bit down. And we will not be adding this camera and this button over here. It was kind of difficult playing with this when we tested it. Maybe a small button will do. We don't want our setting buttons to be a huge button that players might struggle pressing, or player have to press like the other buttons. But that's not the case. Settings is something that you press once in a while, so it won't hurt if the button is smaller than other regular buttons. And we don't want this button to be distracting as well, so placing it somewhere around the corner is pretty fine, I guess. Now we have to create a panel for the settings. Maybe we can just, no, we can't do this. We can't duplicate our previous panels because they are totally different and we don't want our panel to be similar to that, but we want to keep the design aspect of it. So now for the other buttons, we might want to turn this on, go to game, and if I turn this off and take a screenshot for this, okay, we can turn this off. What's our panel inside of UI and right here. So we want this panel to, no, not this. We don't want to change this. First, we want to keep it at the middle, and we might want to scale it down, maybe like this. I think this looks good. And we already have UI elements for this. For the panel, this was our timer panel. So can we use this panel, guys? Because I was thinking of using this panel either, or this panel. So we have to rename this as settings panel, and if we apply this, and we have to, yeah, this looks quite good. This also matches our theme, and it looks pretty as well. Maybe we wanna change our buttons to match these kind of cute colors, which will happen later, but not right now. So panel, we can finalize this panel, I guess. Guys, what do you guys think about this panel? But if you ask me, I think this looks pretty good. So for the title, we want to add a text. UI and go to text. Name this as settings. And for this to be visible, we wanna increase the size of this. Maybe place it somewhere around here. And we wanna use our fonts that we have imported. And this looks pretty good. You might wanna increase the size of this. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. Maybe if we change the fonts, I think this is the perfect one. And we also need a close button somewhere around here. So it would be really good if we didn't have any of this star kind of things, but we can still add a small button right here. So we will be having a close button somewhere around here. So we need 3 rows. We have a yaw row and a pitch row and an aim row. Aim row is gonna be for after we start aiming or turning on the ADS. And we also need 2 different buttons to reset and to apply. So let's kind of add those buttons. So let's add 2 different buttons first. We want this to apply and reset. And inside of this, we create a button. Name this as apply and kind of oh, maybe we're gonna anchor this right here. And we want this button to be somewhere around here. And for the UI of the button, we want to use this one, which matches our theme pretty well. Increase the size, and for the text, we want this to be apply. Apply, yeah, yep, this looks good. And for the font, we want this to be of this color, and for the color, yep, this looks pretty good. And we want one more button. Look at this. And the text for this is gonna be reset. Reset to defaults would have been better, but reset also works fine. So we have a lot of space for our other components, so that will be pretty good. Meanwhile, we can bring our settings. Let's make this decrease the resolution to around 1024. Open up the sprite editor. And after we hit apply, we have our settings and our settings button. We can assign, if I turn on the HUD panel, we want to give this, and I think the size looks pretty fine. We might not need to change anything for this, right, guys? The design factor is something that we will change later. We will make the whole buttons match this kind of theme. So we will do that, but not right now. So once you press this, then this panel will be opened, and now we have to add the sensitivity settings to it. Guys, give me a minute. I need to go somewhere. I'll be back. I'll be right back, guys. So guys, I'm back. And what were we doing? So we also need three sliders, right? So how do we walk around with sliders? Or should we add a default value to it? We don't want button. What we do want is text, and this is gonna be our horizontal sensitivity. Duplicate this twice. This is gonna be our vertical, and this is gonna be our imp. So inside of our horizontal sensitivity, we wanna rename this as the vertical. We want, maybe we can just delete this. Use this one first, and place it somewhere around here. It's the size of this. Maybe also change the color for this. Yep, this color looks great. Maybe we need a darker one. Now we duplicate this. Then place it somewhere around here, and duplicate this once again. Okay, now we have three different labels. Now we want to create slider. I guess we had a slider somewhere around here. We had a slider for our host, and for the timer panel, we had a timer slider. So maybe we can duplicate this, and move it inside of our settings, inside of our horizontal sensitivity, and yep, we got a pretty good looking slider for us. And for its value, what should we give the minimum value for this? From 20 to 100. 20. Maybe we also need text. Don't you guys think? Or keep it the way it looks now. How would they know what the sensitivity is? Maybe keep the players guessing. We want whole numbers. We don't want. So we have successfully created one slider. So we want to duplicate this and put it inside a vertical, and duplicate this, put it inside the aim. So this is how it looks. I think this looks pretty sick, clean, and pretty readable. No explanation needed there. For the values, we can change this later. We can make the max and minimum value later. So for now it's time to get the close button, and then we can start testing this. We also got our close button ready. So this is our button. Apply, make this smaller, and then go to our sprite editor. Then slice this. So now we can use our settings. We need a button for that. So inside of the settings panel, we need one more button. This is gonna be close. And for the sprite, we will be using this. Anchor it somewhere around here. and we didn't want the text. How does it look? Maybe if we get the panel without these stars, then the close button would look way better, but still we can't place it somewhere around here. We have to place it right here. We will, I guess we have to remove this, but we can do this later. For this text, we might want to make this, no, we don't want to make this bold, but we might want to change the color for this. Yeah. Okay, this looks pretty good. Now the thing left is assigning all the scripts, and then we will be done with it. Let's create an empty object, name this settings manager, and use the setting manager script. And we can move setting manager instead of lights and managers. And go back to our game canvas, and this we can for the settings button. So we assign all of these, and then we'll be done. Okay, we also have a value for text. So we might want to add text around here because we already have the code for this. So why not add a text as well? Before that, let's assign all of these. For the settings panel, this is going to be a settings panel. For the settings button, this. For the close button, it is inside our settings panel. So it will be here. For the yaw sensitivity, yaw means horizontal, I guess. I don't know why I'm getting confused so much. Yaw means horizontal and pitch means vertical. So I have to find a way to memorize this because I'm getting confused a lot of time. So how do we memorize yaw for horizontal and pitch for vertical? We have to make some kind of connection to it. If pitch was horizontal, then it would make sense because the cricket pitch it is horizontally flat. So we have to memorize by thinking it's the opposite. So pitch means a cricket pitch, it is horizontal, but here it is vertical. So I guess I won't forget that now. That's a really good way of memorizing. This is gonna be a yaw slider, this is gonna be a pitch slider, this is gonna be a aim slider, and for the buttons, where are buttons? This is gonna be a apply button, this is gonna be our reset button. This is the reset button, right guys? Maybe I should confirm this first. Yeah, this is our reset button. And for our settings, which was here, and for the reset button, yeah, this now we just have to add these three texts and then we're done. For that, let's go inside of a slider and Maybe inside here, text. Name this as. What do you name this as? Text was pretty fine. Since this is already gonna be a number, so let's give it 50 for now, just to see how it looks. And for the font, we will be using our default font that we have been using everywhere. We might want to increase the size of this. Yep. And we might also want to change the color for this, maybe somewhere around here. Maybe a little bit lighter. Why does it look so good here and so dull here? If I check it on my laptop screen, still looks bad. Maybe because the effect is kind of, it's not zoomed in, I guess. So make this bold, make it a darker. See, it looks so bad. Plain white also looks bad. Black kind of ruins everything. Let's go with this color and this size. So we duplicate this and duplicate this again and put it inside of vertical and put it inside of aim. So for the vertical, guys, I got a call. You guys, I got a call from my dad. So now what were we doing? We were fixing the sliders. We were adding the text. So now we don't want any of this text. Maybe we want to keep text for now so that we get to know where the text, how the texts look. Yep, they look pretty good. Now we can remove all the values because the values are gonna be assigned at runtime from our actual sensitivity values. So the last thing that's left to do is go back to our game canvas and assign all of this text. This is our for the yaw, this is for the pitch, and this is for the aim. Maybe now we could be able to test this, and hopefully this should work in our favor. We can disable this. We can also disable this by default because we don't want to have that on as default. And let's check the build profile. We want to have this as Android, or can we do this with simulator? Maybe we can use this with a simulator. So if we go to our scenes and hit play, and go to our simulator and hit host, and we have the settings button, but none of our buttons work because we have to make one change. Once we do this, now everything is gonna work. Yep, settings panel works, and these are the default values. So if I, and we messed up the text. See, for this text is getting changed, so we have to send that. Okay, let's see if what happens if we kind of, the limit is 200, I guess, and 300 for this, and hit reset. Then we get back to our default values, and if we hit apply, okay, this is with the settings or the sensitivity changed. We can see it moves pretty fast, and if we go back to hit and reset and then hit apply, now we can see it moves slower. So our sensitivity part is working pretty fine. Now if we want to change only the vertical value and apply this, is the horizontal value getting changed as well? I think this is kind of confusing. I'm not able to figure this out properly. Let's see what happens. Without the aim, we have not hit apply. Now if we go on aim, and if we reset this and then apply and then on scope, what the fuck, guys? I don't notice any difference. Is this even working? Let's see how much we have to drag from to get it from here to here. Now max everything. No, I think the difference is there, guys. It is working. It is working. We want to test this on a real mobile device, which is a better option than this. So let's go back to our spawn points, not the spawn points. Sorry, my bad. I don't know why I went back to spawn points. The thing is, maybe I might have messed up while applying this for the yaw pitch and aim. And if I go to vertical, we have to give this text right here for the yaw. Maybe we might have what we might have done is we kind of changed. I knew that could have been the case, so move this outside here and put this here. Now this text is here, this text is for this, and we have to reassign two of these values, which is gonna be text one in the first slot and text in the second slot. Okay, so we got a pretty good looking settings panel which can be used to change sensitivity, and it is working pretty fine. Now we also noticed another bug which was uh, figured out by one of our friends when I showed him the game, and he told that our character looks kind of like he's sliding, and that can be cause of the mismatch between the animator and the value at which the player moves. So what we can do is we can decrease or increase the value of the movement speed, and then we can check and test for the perfect values that go along together, and we can fix that value. So for that, let's go to our scene and hit the play button. We want to check this on to our game, not on any kind of simulator. Yeah. The sensitivity is so much higher, and I'm not able to press the settings button. Maybe I can, if I go to simulator, then I might be able to, yeah. It looks kind of right, but I don't know why I feel so much higher sensitivity. And we are not able to see fire animation or hear the fire audio. I don't know why is that. See, we can't see any. Dude, fire is not getting pressed. What the fuck is wrong with this? Maybe the fire is only gonna work with button. That could also be the case. So let's go to our hunter clone, and we will be changing the walk speed to 2. See how this looks. Now the animation is kind of matching, right guys? And for the sprint we want it to be 4. If we check now, then but this speed is not acceptable. We have to make this as 4 and this is 6. So the thing is, we can change the speed of the animation, and it will work pretty neatly. How do I change the speed, guys? Maybe go to our scenes, maybe prefabs, go to player height hunter, and oh, they added an update. So all the network variables are come with this. Property is not ready, it's just a network object valid. Okay, that is a pretty good thing. So all of these are network properties, and we have to go. We needed the animator. So our walk animation should be 5. Run animation should be 2. Now see. Now let's check what happens once we did change all of this. I wanna try this inside of a simulator, and why is this not working, guys? Okay, now it works. Dude, why is my fire not working? Did I break something? Dude, I must have broken something. Now my fire is not working. So the changes we have made are mostly for clear camera, and I don't think we have anything to do with our fire system. Without this, let's see what happens. No, we don't have anything for this. How did our fire system even break, guys? That should not be happening. See, still our fire is not working. I don't even remember making any changes to our fire script or any other script. Mm, clear camera. We have only made changes to two of the scripts, and I don't know why our fire system is broken now. Oh, guys, how can our fire system break? The only thing that could have changed this is this part of the code, and I don't think we have anything that could change our fire system based on this. Equal and everything we have for this, but equal and everything, and let me check the animator for this. Try to figure out how and why this happened. So it is the aim, it is going to the aim, and when I'm pressing fire, it is not working. But I think I fixed one of the problem. We have to make transition from aim walk to run, and if we see for this, we have this kind of transition. We want to be this is aiming is false and is running as true. Yep. And we want to have this as fixed duration. So from aim to walk. Let's try this again. We fixed, I think we might have fixed another bug, but the main problem still remains the same. And it still remains unsolved. See, still we have not fixed the issue. See, it's going back to aim and it goes back to idle. What's happening, guys? This is going back to aim again after aim walk. If aim walk is false and also is aiming is true. Now, if we try this, now it works. But we also figured out one more problem. We have this from is aiming is true and is running is also true. So we want to go from run to aim directly when if is aiming is true and if is running is true. So we don't have to wait for this whole loop. So let's try this again. But we still have not figured out the main problem. Why our fire is not getting triggered? But still, we are kind of this problem was also bugging me. So it's a win-win for me. Maybe we want to remove the exit time. We get that slide, nasty sliding kind of effect, which we do not want. See, the transition is so smooth from this to this, but it is so much delayed from here to here. So I wanna add, we go from run to walk only when is running is false and is aiming is also false. If is aiming is true and if is running is true, then we wanna go from run to aim. And one more thing is we want We do not want any exit time for this, and we do not want any kind of exit time for this as well. For the transition duration, we want this to be pretty quick. Now if we check, let's see what happens now. Let me also open the animator for you guys. So it is pretty quick. Still, we are not able to transition from here onto aim. I don't know why this is happening. We have is aiming is true and is running is true, then we should be transitioning. Why is our this transition not working? Is aiming is true and is running is also true. Then why can't we transition from run to aim directly? Let's see what kind of condition we have for this. For this we have is aiming is true. So for this, if we remove this and check from walk to aim, okay, it has to go from, it is going from idle and aim. Okay, now it works. Oh, now it's working perfectly. And the animation problem is solved. Now when we leave the animation, it kind of works. We also need to remove the exit time from this. From animation walk to walk, we don't want to have exit time, and for the interrupts transition duration, 0.2 is pretty fine. Maybe we wanna, this looks pretty quick, so 0.1, let's try this. And yep. So run to animation is working pretty fine. Now we want the similar condition from walk to this. But we have the same condition. Then why is not working? Why is it not working for from walk to aim? For walk to aim, we have is aiming to be true. And for run to aim, we also have is aiming to be true. So technically, if we are walking and then we aim, then it should be going directly. Okay, so we also have is aiming is false. So we have to add from walking to idle if is aiming is also false. Now it should work pretty cleanly. And we want our transition from aim to work to not have exit time, which it does not. This is also not have exit time. This also does not have exit time. But I suspect we have exit time from idle to aim or walk to aim. From walk to aim, we do not have exit time, but from idle to aim also we do not have exit time. Then why was it taking a little bit of time to get from here to here or here to here? Maybe it was taking this path. Since now we might have fixed that. So let's check how the things are going now. I believe that we might have fixed the issue, but still, maybe I should show you guys the demo what I'm seeing, like how I am checking the animator and the player. Okay, so this is the animator that we are gonna compare with the gameplay. So this is how it is. This is how from walk to run we have. Maybe we should give a fixed exit time for this so that it transitions smoothly, right? Okay, we don't need exit time for this. Now it is pretty instant, and so now this is pretty quick, no delay over there. Now this is also pretty quick, no delay over there as well. And while we are sprinting, this is also pretty quick, no delay over there. Now if we leave aim, we get back to sprint, which is pretty quick. Now when we're walking, we get back to sprint. I guess the run animation speed is kind of faster than the actual speed he is running at. And for the walk, it should be somewhere around 1.3, I guess. No, it feels like sliding. 1.5 is a pretty good spot for this. Does it feel like sliding, guys? For walk, I don't think it feels like sliding, but for running, I think it still feels like sliding. What if I get this as 2.5? It looks so odd, guys. Maybe the default 1.6, and for walk we keep it as 1 point. And also we might wanna go to our prefab inside of Hunter, and we might wanna decrease the speed. Walk speed to be as 4 and sprint speed to be as 7. Maybe this could work. Now we still have a problem with our fire not working. Wait a second. Maybe we are kind of doing something with our hunter cam. And since our hunter cam is one is almost certainly actual bug, the other is comparatively a problem with the defective. This replaced what was previously a serialized field inspector signed reference with a runtime lookup and transfer of an recursive. It only selects sources detects children by name if camera reason sitting immediately under your player root. Now add this map but fix is find. But after I changed my code, why it stopped working again? Why is that? We do not have hide a camera follow in our script, so maybe I should keep my whole script first. Find adult camera is still just the plain series from the fronters, so whatever actually even fabric so that fine line snippet on top of this check what is important. File this for the numbers. Let's see if it solved anything. I don't really think it might have solved, but still. See, I don't know what's wrong, guys. Oh fuck! I don't know what's wrong with my code, and I don't know how it stopped working all of a sudden. Guys, I think I might have figured out the problem. Do this guy stole our buff, I guess. Leomor, you have two free kills over there. I think I might have figured out the problem, guys. Since I have updated Unity, then the find object of type or whatever the thing that I was using has been obsolete, I guess. So I have to use a different method for that, and that might be the reason why I was not able to fire. So I guess the solution to this is we go back to my the camera controller or whatever. Whatever I was using before, and see this is deprecated, so this might be the reason for that. Alt plus enter, then add obsolete. Now if I check, report why do they want to report me? Dude, I sacrificed myself for our team. Let's see if it works, or it still does not work. Mm, let's try.